so much for showing up. Like I said, my voice is almost gone. The more I talk, obviously, the quieter it gets. So I'm going to quickly introduce our guest speaker, and I'm not going to go into recognition right now because my voice is almost gone. But today we're going to hear from Jamie Hance. Jamie and I have been friends now for a few years. She joined, I think, a few months before I did, and we started going to Turbo Kit classes together and hanging out. We're from the same town, and we just kind of really hit it off. Now, Jamie is a single mom. She has been able to bring her business to a 3-star. Are you 4 qualifying yet?
No, so close.
Close. I know you're close.
Super close.
Yes. So super close to 4-star qualifying, which she'll get there very soon. I know she will. I know she's going to be elite this year. That's just a given. It's just going to happen. And she has been able to build a full-time business while being a full-time single mom. And when I say single, she's fully single mom. No, not a lot of outside help. She's also a yoga instructor and very, very passionate about living your dream life, which is kind of what she's going to talk to us about tonight. So, Jamie, I'm going to mute myself and let you take over. And my team, you all know that if you have any questions, just post them on the team page and I'll ask them at the end of the call. Okay? So take it on over, Jamie.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction. You're super sweet. So like Jill said, I'm 3-star qualifying, so close to being official. Diamond coach. I've been a coach for 3 years in like 2 weeks, I think, is my anniversary. So really close to 3 years now. And it is full-time for me. It's been full-time kind of almost from the beginning. I had a part-time job for a bit and then realized that it was interfering with the way that I wanted to live my life. And so I dropped that pretty quickly. I'm a single mom. My daughter will be 4 at the end of the month. Jill had a little chat with her earlier as she climbed out of bed. She's a joy and an absolute delight and 100% handful. She's amazing. She is. She has impacted my life in incredible ways. And I don't know that I would be where I am in this business without having had those circumstances happen that I have her. So I do actually have help. My parents are amazing. They often take her on the weekends. But it's funny because I was talking to a fellow coach who's also a single mom and did not have her son for the weekend. And she's like, I'm just going to sit and plow through work. And I'm like, I'm going to relax and not do that. So it's really my downtime when they take her. I don't use it as time to work my business. I really use it as time for me to kind of unplug and unwind and do grown-up things and whatnot. So living life the way that I want to and life the way that really fills me up is super important to me. And that's why I became a coach. It was a platform for me to be able to do what I've been trying to do for a really long time. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and all of that jazz. So Jill wanted me to talk a little bit about how it is that I have been able to build to a 3-star rank, build a really successful team, and do that as a single mom. And I work my business super part-time. So I want to get into a couple of things. I am Anita's direct downline, and we are complete opposites on the spectrum. So Anita's like a super ruby red personality, and I'm like mega pearl blue white, if you guys know what any of that means. But we're just motivated by different things. And Anita tends to attract a lot of rubies on her team. So I was like, I feel like I kind of don't fit in here. Like Success Club 40 is like, that overwhelms me. I don't even know what to do with those kinds of numbers. Like, how do you talk to that many people? How do you keep in touch with them all? But like when you're a Ruby personality, it's not about that. So like I like to bring in as many people as I can like guide and chat with and talk to and message and feel like I'm really connected to. So we just kind of come from different places. But like when I first started, I felt super lost. I was like, what have I done? What am I going to do? Like, who is this crazy woman that I am under? And she does all these videos and all these trainings and this website and this and that and the other and spends 50 hours a week. And I was like, that doesn't even sound appealing to me. And she has all this success that's like, oh, but I want that. But I don't want to do that to get it. So I had to kind of look at it and then realize that I had to run my own race for me. Because I looked around and I was like looking at these trainings and I was watching all these YouTube videos and I was like, awesome, that works for them and that works for them. And that none of these people have my circumstances. None of these people have my personality. None of these people have my why or my goals. Why would I think that their plan would work for me? It doesn't, right? So I had to figure out that I had to take my own circumstances. I had to take my strengths as a coach, and I had to find a way to make that work for my success. So that for me means I pour my heart into people. Like I pour my heart into people. Guys, all of my working coaches, outside from the brand new ones that I've signed into my second CBC, my working coaches are all diamond ranked. Like I don't have a huge team. I went diamond with 12 coaches. Lots of coaches go diamond with like 20 or 30 coaches. I did it with 12. I went 1-star with 14 coaches. I don't have a gigantic team, but I have a team that I connect with on a super deep level. And I don't want you to take that and think, oh, okay, well, I'll just like pour myself into these 5 people and I'll just make them go. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I had to find the right people. It just happened to happen in a smaller number for me, right? So I got really lucky in that, but it's still a numbers game. You still have to find the right people to work with. But when I found those people who like I connected with and I saw the drive and the desire and the passion for this in, those people I invested myself into, like big, like huge. And they came from challenge groups. They all came from challenge groups. So like you have to dump yourself into those people. So it's like a refinement process, right? Like you get all of these people into your challenge groups and you pour yourself all over them, right? Like you love on them and you encourage and you support them. I do. That's me. I'm a pearl. I love on my people, right? And then you find the people who like give back to you and give back to the group for me. And I'm like, ooh, those are pearl personalities too, right? Like they're saying their success and they just want to share it. They're like, ooh, this is working for me and I want to share it. Ooh, I love to be encouraged and I want to share it. And those are the people that I convert, right, into coaches. And then it's really easy because I pour into them and they pour back into me and we work together, right? So I had to find that strength in myself. Like I had to just figure out like my personality and what was important to me and then figure out how to make that work for me as a coach. So loving on people is like, that's just me. That's who I am. So it makes it easier, right? I don't have to struggle with having the perfect website up and like that is none, like all of that is over. It takes me hours to do that kind of crazy stuff, like hours. I don't have time for that. I just don't. So I found that like connecting with people and loving on them and sending them messages and shooting them a cute, quick, whatever, like that connected me with them and that worked. So like I had to run my own race, right? And then I had to set my own goals, right? And that came way later, like way later, like last summer, we had a goal thrown out for us for elite. And I was like, yes, no. I'm so far behind the ball already. Like I wasn't there. Like elite takes time to put together. And I felt behind from the very beginning and that just overwhelms me. And then I realized that that wasn't my goal. It was a goal somebody else had set for me, and it was a great goal, and it worked really great for a lot of coaches on the team as a motivator, but it doesn't work for me because it wasn't in line with what I was trying to achieve and accomplish, because it would have required that super fast growth for me to get there in the time frame that was allotted. But what it did is it helped me to see like what I had to do so I could do it a little bit slower to piece together a leap for this year. And guys, I'm not even gonna, not joking around. December rolled around and I was like, this is happening. We are gonna be an elite team next year. And this year, it's just been a switch on our team. Like, it's just been a switch on our team. Everybody's pushing. People are doing crazy volume. Everybody's super excited and like revved up, passionate about what we do. And it's like that energy feeds into our team and everybody goes bigger. It's amazing. But it had to be my goal. It had to be my goal for me to get passionate about it and for it to be important to me to put in the work to make it happen. It being somebody else's goal for me didn't work. It will never work for me. And you have to decide, right? Like, maybe it works for you, but if it doesn't, then you just find goals that you set for yourself that are in alignment with your why, right? And that are in alignment like with your big goal, right? So that's that. And then I had to work on me. And that was a realization. I've been on the me project for years, like years and years. Yoga has been a huge part of my life, and it's kind of part of yoga. It's part of going through teacher training, and just when you get really present with your body and yourself, stuff just happens. I took a huge step away from yoga for 10 months, and I didn't even realize I had done it. Like, didn't know I'd done it somehow, right? And it's like when people are like, well, when's the last time you worked out? They're like, oh, 4 years ago, I guess, right? Like, they have no idea it's been so long. That's what happened to me. I went to a yoga class and came home and I was chatting with a friend and I was like, it's been like 4 months. And they were like, yeah, it's been like 6. And I was like, oh my God, it's been since February. So it had been 10 months since I'd like gone to a class. I was a teacher. It had been 10 months since I'd gone to a class. And I didn't even realize it was a thing. And then about a week into going regularly, I realized it was a big thing. And then I realized there was a bunch of big stuff that I hadn't really dealt with or looked at or allowed myself to be with because I'd been so focused on being the person that I thought I had to be because of the person I thought people viewed me as. So I'm the strong single mom who has everything together and doesn't ever question herself and never yells at her kid and is the super calm, collected, clear-headed, level-headed person. That's a lot. It was a lot to live up to, and I didn't even realize, right? Like, kind of like I didn't realize I hadn't been to yoga in 10 months, but like I was dealing with a lot of stuff. And then I started going to yoga, and all this stuff started like, I cried a lot on my mat for a good month. And then I realized like I hadn't been super genuine. I hadn't allowed myself to be vulnerable, to be hurt, to be angry in years. I'm a single mom. There's some, I don't know if you swear on your team calls, there's some shit around that. There's some stuff around being a single mom, right? It's never an ideal situation, and that means emotional stuff. I never took the time to deal with it until like now, right? But it's been a hiccup and a me getting in my own way in my business, right? Because it's all like self-worth and value and belief of what you deserve, and all of this stuff gets wrapped into it. So like I had to go deep. I had to get real with Brené Brown and do some self-discovery and realize that I could be me, just me, not the best version of me, not the strongest version of me, not the best parts of me, but just me, and that was okay. And it was enough. And it doesn't mean that I can't be strong in situations and I can't be the best version of me. Like, that's okay too, but like, just me was enough too. And really, there's no just about it. But that took some time. Like, that took some time for me to get to. And then it took some time for me to put it out into the world and share it with all of the people. But it's like terrifying and then so freeing, because then you just get to be yourself, right? Like, I was talking to someone, I'm like, I'm so exhausted from trying to find the silver lining in every circumstance. I'm so tired. I was like, okay, but I don't have to anymore. Like, I can still put a positive spin on something and still find value in like that fail forward mentality without like having it have to be my emotion. Like, I can still be pissed off about it and find the silver lining, right? So it was like detaching, like letting my experiences be separate from myself. And that was huge, right? Like, that was huge. So I had to work on me. So that was big. That was ginormous. And when I really started to do that, guys, like when I let myself be really real, and then I let myself get really vulnerable with my team and say, hey guys, I don't actually have my shiz together all the time. And I still don't know what I'm doing. I still don't know what I'm doing all the time. I don't actually have all the answers. Sometimes I Google stuff. Lots of times I Google stuff. Like, I don't have all the answers. I don't always know the best way to reply to somebody, but I know if you go from your heart and you lead with intention, like, at least you don't go wrong. So I don't know. That's my big Shazam. I wanted to touch on like how I make it work. And the name of my game is flexibility. I came into this business because I love my freedom. I never wanted to leave like a real job to come and do this, to spend the same amount of time as I was spending at a real job. That doesn't appeal to me. Like, I never wanted to do that. So I had to find a way to make it work like totally on my terms. And that means part-time for me, because my life outside of work is always going to be bigger and more important to me. And I say that, and I love this business. I am super passionate about it and I adore everything. But for me, like, my personality, it's still work, right? And like connecting with people and friends and relationships and communities in real life is always going to be more important to me. Like, those touch points are always going to be more important to me. And I had to realize that that was okay, that I could still run and grow a successful business even with this not being my number one thing. And that was hard for me because I felt guilty about it for a really long time. It's like, oh, but if I just, then I would. And if I only, then, but no, because my freedom is the most important thing to me. So as long as I keep that in front of me, then the guilt and the what if and the maybe I shoulds kind of go away. So I had to make it work on my terms, flexibility, right? So I started off and I was like, I'm going to get up super early in the morning. I'm going to get my workout in. No, because sometimes I stay up until 12 o'clock at night chatting with people and 5 a.m. comes freaking early. No, thank you. But if that's what I have planned for the day, and I have my workout planned at 5 and this planned at 6 and that at 7, and I don't wake up until 8, where the heck am I going to fit all that stuff in the 3 hours that I slept? I don't. So it just doesn't get done. Well, that wasn't working for me. So I was like, okay, so I just need to I need to make my to-do list, and then I need to give myself the space to do it when it makes sense for me in my day. Because being scheduled is what I hate about real jobs. Like, having to be at a place it just makes me cringe. And it doesn't matter how passionate I am about it, guys. Teaching yoga, even, I was like, I gotta be at a 4 o'clock class. And I loved it. I would get there and I was lit up. but like getting there was like pushing play, right? Sometimes. So I want as little of that in my life as possible. So I have a to-do list and then I just make it work. So sometimes I work out at 7 in the morning and sometimes it's 2 in the afternoon. And today it was, I don't know, when did I text you that I finished my workout? 8:30, 8 o'clock? I don't know. It was late tonight because that's when it happened, but it happened. And that's what's important, right? Is like I have my core activities that I know I need to get done and I just make sure they happen. And then I give myself the space for it to be okay that it happens when it happens. Because if my daughter needs me, then I'm going to be there. If my mom needs me to take her to an appointment, I want to be there. If I don't freaking feel like it, I don't want to have to. So to some degree, right? Like sometimes I don't feel like inviting and I still do it, but like I don't want to be like, oh, it's 2 o'clock. I have to do my invites. If I'm like, but I really want to work out right now, I give myself that freedom. So I have my to-do list, like my power hour. My power hour happens in like 20-minute increments because that's how long my attention span is. I can't sit at my computer for 3 hours. My daughter goes to school from 8 until 12. I was like, oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to get so much work done. It's going to be awesome. I can't sit at my computer for 3 hours. Are you kidding me? No. No, thank you. I go to yoga every day while my daughter is at school. I have breakfast and it's delightful. I get to eat all my own food and it's amazing. I love being a mom, by the way. Love it. But I also love breakfast. I go to yoga every day. I have coffee and I drink it hot and I do my personal development like in quiet because that's important to me. I can do my workout. I would rather do my workout and have my daughter see me do it. Because she gives me energy kisses when mom's dying and she cheers me on and she sees it and she knows, right? Like I want to be the example to her. I don't want her to miss a day of me. So I do it when she's home most of the time, right? Unless I'm like super motivated at 9 a.m. and then whatever, I'll drink my Eni and make it happen. But that flexibility, right? So that's me time. I do what I need to do then and I fit work in where it fits. So if Ains wants to spend an hour on her Kindle doing this weird game that teaches her stuff, super. You want to play on her Kindle, mom's going to get some work done. You want to read a book, mom's going to get some work done. Oh, you want to have a bath tonight? Super. Mom's going to get some work done. But I just make it fit in where it fits in. And some days it doesn't. So it doesn't. Right? And so maybe that means I grow a little bit slower. But I'm not worried about that because I'm running my race against nobody. So there's no winner, right? The only winner is me and my team and my coaches and my people as long as I keep pouring myself into them. So I have systems. I just have to have lots of wiggle room for them to work for my life. I can talk, Jill, forever about stuff. Does anybody have questions?
I love everything that you just said. And I love that, yeah, you have systems, but you kind of don't. Because I am a systems girl. And there's a lot of people on my team who are not. So it's good for them to hear from you. Like, okay, she's doing it, she's successful, and she's not really a systems girl. And that's awesome. It's so cool. I'm just like giddy over your story. I just love, just because you are so opposite from me. So to hear that is just like, oh, that's so cool. I do have some questions though, and some things. So you went, and hopefully I can get them all out before my voice goes away. You went 1 star with 14 coaches.
I think that's what I had.
Yeah. How many coaches of yours like either quit or just stay discount? Is that a higher number then?
And it's switching for me now. My second CBC, I have 6 coaches currently signed up, and they're all potential working coaches.
Yeah.
Less one who probably will stay discount.
Yeah.
And I think that's just because I I have reached a point in my business where people are like, oh, wait. And most of my people know me. Like, I've had relationships with my coaches for a really long time.
Right.
My most recent diamond coach, literally, we have been friends since kindergarten.
Cool.
And she followed my journey for another year in my challenge groups before she signed up as a coach. So, like, people are just seeing now, like, oh, well, I know Jamie and I know her story and I know where she's come from. And I see, like, where the 3 years have taken her,
Right.
and they're ready to sign up with me as working coaches because they see the potential in the business by what I've created.
Exactly.
But it's taken time. It's taken a lot of time, and it's taken showing up and sharing my journey and sharing the less than awesome parts of my life for people to see where I've come from.
Exactly.
One of the coaches that has recently signed up with me that I'm super excited about, literally out of the blue, I'm not even sure how we became Facebook friends, but she said, hey, I have tons of Beachbody coach friends. I see all this stuff on my newsfeed all the time. It looks like everybody has had a huge positive impact in their lives from this, and you especially. I want to sign up.
That's
and I was
so
like,
cool.
and like that's why I do the business. I know, but that's why I do it. Like, those are all the good feels. I'm like, oh yes, you also can create this amazing life for yourself, right?
Totally.
I have such a huge belief, not just in this business, but in life in general, that you legitimately, in your belief, can create anything that you truly want. Because what happens is when you believe big enough, like when you believe big enough, then your actions start to align with that belief. And then you're doing the things that need to happen to create the end result. But it has to start with that belief, right? Like, if you never believe that you'll go elite, you're probably not going to do the activities that require you to get there.
Exactly.
I suddenly believe that elite is like, it's not even a might happen, it's a gonna happen, and gonna happen early in the year. So my behaviors have shifted, our team behaviors have shifted, because I've created that belief on our team that we're going to be an elite team. And so everybody's on board, right? And so now all of that, like, collective energy is pushing us towards that end goal. It's crazy, but it has to start with belief.
Now, you were talking a lot. I love the part of your story, how you talk about how you had to focus and be genuine and vulnerable about yourself. And like, you took that 10 months off of yoga, and then once you got back into it, you just dove into learning about yourself. What are some tips that you give to your team to help them learn about themselves, especially somebody who is not into yoga? You know, like, what are some tips that you do, I guess?
Our team is a little bit personal development different, you could say. Yeah, Eat That Frog is a great book, and Compound Effect, absolutely, like, amazing stories. And then our team, like, we're Brené Brown fans. Like, Brené Brown is like the jam. I quote her all the time. I share stuff with her with my team. But she's, I want to sit and have coffee with this woman for like hours, right? But like, and she talks about being real and vulnerable and genuine. And I think just in being so deep in the journey myself, like, it's just how I talk to my team. It's just how I speak with my coaches, and I push them to dig deeper into their stuff. So it is not unusual for me to post on our team page, what's the scariest post that you put up this week? And if they don't have one, I'm like, okay, but it's the scary posts that make people relate to you. So find something, right? Like, how's Beachbody changed your life? Okay, but so that's where the change came from. Where were you before? Right? So I kind of, I don't want to say push because I'm not a pushy person, but I am a very strong encourager for people to get underneath the surface level.
And it sounds like you ask a lot of questions. You know, you
and we
kind of
celebrate that, right?
Yeah, totally.
And then when people do those vulnerable posts, we are as a team behind them, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Somebody puts up that, hey, I put this up, and there's comments and likes and like crazy support on those posts. And it's not just like they do it for me too, right? Like I did a post a couple of weeks back. I did my before pictures for Insanity and like grabbed my big belly bulge and I was like, I don't even know if I can post this. I asked like 7 coaches. I was like, is this even inspiring? Like, is this even getting a good message across? I didn't know. And I was terrified. I was terrified of getting negative comments. I was terrified of just promoting like a wrong mentality. I was so scared. And then I like sat back with it and after I was waiting for like my coach friends to comment back and I was like, you know what? I don't actually need their approval. I know that this comes from a good place in my heart. I know the message that I'm trying to send. And as long as I like put it out there with that, then I just have to trust that that's what's going to happen. And I have to share something like around that. I don't get negative comments. They say you haven't arrived until you have haters. I don't have any. So maybe I haven't arrived yet, but I don't have any because I feel like I just don't attract that negative energy into my life because I don't expect it. Like I don't expect people to make bad comments because I just don't. So they don't, you know? So I put things out with love and with the desire for acceptance and knowing that like people expect me to be vulnerable, I think at this point, and I have gotten those comments, like it's so nice to see the realness of your story. It's so nice to see that you're not perfect. And so like those kinds of comments keep me going and encourage me to share. And my coaches get them too, you know, and I share those. Like when I put up a super scary, vulnerable post and they get positive feedback on it, I share that with my team, right? And then that encourages them to know that it's not safe, it's not comfortable, but it does impact people in that like deeper level way that like us pearl types are like, that's what I was going for, you know?
Totally. Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question or if I just went off on a tangent there, Jill.
Tangents are good. I like them, especially because I can't talk.
Perfect.
How do you spell Brene Brown?
It's Brene.
Okay.
And there's sorry, that'll be my mom calling. There's a slash in there somewhere, but she has, I highly recommend, she has 2 TED Talks, one on shame and one on vulnerability. And like, that was my like gateway drug into Brene Brown life. And I haven't never turned back.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Really,
that's
really good stuff.
For our team, at least for me. And so I'm sure for most of my team too. Yeah, I think, do you have, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Do you have like time blocks for your day? Here, I'm trying to figure out a system because I'm a system person, but.
I have found that as much as I like freedom, when I kind of like, when I have certain things in my day that fill me up, scheduled in, I do a lot better. So like I go to yoga Monday through Friday every day, either the 9:15 or the 10:30 class. Like that's a time block for me. I wake up in the morning and I actually do get up before my daughter does, but that's because it's important to me. And if I don't, it's not a big deal, but like I get up and I make coffee and I sit with my person and I'm like in the dark, quiet house and like that's how I want to start my day, in like calm and peace and quiet. And that's important to me. Quiet is important to me. And I know that I just have figured that out about myself. So if I can find a way to like start my day that way, then my day just goes better.
Totally.
And personal development, like whatever I'm reading, it has to fire me up. Like if I'm not like, I can't put it down, then I put it down.
Yeah.
If it's not a book that's, and I tell that to my coaches all the time. I'm like, if you're not like flipping pages and like scribbling notes and quoting stuff on Facebook, put the book down. It's not the one you need to be reading.
Yeah.
I need books. I don't necessarily need books that challenge me all the time and push me all the time. And I really don't need business oriented books for me. I need books that like challenge me to like dig deeper into myself, challenge me to like dream bigger and believe more. And like, I know that's what I need. And when I start my day that way, it grows my belief, and then that creates more action for my day. So I have to do that in the morning, like at some point in the morning. So if I sleep in and we do school stuff and getting ready, then I go to the 10:30 yoga class. I take Ins to school, I come home, I have my coffee and my quiet and my stuff then, because it just fuels my day, right? Like it just fuels my day. And if like, I don't know, it's weird stuff for me. Like if yoga is like super chill and I leave class and I'm like, all blissed out and happy, I will often come home and work out because I need to boost my energy up to sit down at my computer. Because if I'm all like, I might throw in a load of laundry or like do dishes, but I'm not going to work my business.
Yeah.
Not going to happen, right? So like, I'm a very energy person, like, and I'm sensitive to that. So my energy has to be up to work and talk to people. I just know that I need that. So I just make corrections like throughout the day.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to get outside and breathe some fresh air or run around with Ainsley or do whatever, but like I just have to make adjustments for that through my day. And sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's having Energizer, E&E or whatever, like, but I find a way to do it. So time blocks, sort of, like there are things that I have to do early in my day or my day inevitably goes sideways. I don't really work on the weekend. Whether I have my daughter or I don't, it's the weekend. People who work 9 to 5s don't work on the weekend. And it took my dad to like bash it over my head because I would go up to visit and I would bring my computer and I'd be like, he's like, but I thought you do this so you don't have to work all the time. And I was like, well, I do, but you're right. And I like, what am I doing? Like, it's the weekend. It is the weekend. So I'll still post, like I'll still put up but I'm like family stuff and like, this is my life and this is what I'm doing. And you have the freedom because you don't have to post about Beachbody all the time, right? The glorious part of this business, especially when you get to a level where you get to do it full time, is you get to take weekends off or evenings off or a whole week off if you need to. You get to make it work for your schedule. So if you are busting your ass all weekend long and all you're posting is beach, that's not always necessarily super inspiring for like recruiting coaches.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was super intimidated by Anita because she worked all the time. And I was like, God, can I have a successful business if I'm not working 60 hours a week in front of my computer? Because I can't do that. Like, even if I wanted to, I couldn't do that. I'm a single parent. Like, that's not an option for me. And then I realized that I don't have to, right? And then I realized that maybe it's a little bit inspiring too, to be able to be successful and do it on this many hours.
Totally. It's very inspiring. Yes.
So again, like I had to find my own way and then find a way to share that and make it a different story,
Yeah. Well, everybody's story is different. Now, right now, I'm going to see a therapist because I was getting all like stressed out. And what you're talking about is kind of what my therapist has been talking to me about and kind of me to like listen to my feelings. And so what helped me, and I'm saying this so that my teammates and my coaches can do this too, but she had me write down at the top of every hour how I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And what it showed was a pattern. If I was feeling lazy, then I would get angry and then I would overeat and I would have this pattern. And if I worked out, then the next 3 hours I would be excited and like really, really happy. If I did
Mm-hmm.
personal development for the next like 2 or 3 hours, I'd be really happy. So I make sure to schedule personal development or exercise every 2 to 3 hours, and it keeps my spirits up. But I
Mm-hmm.
never knew that until I filled out this chart. So sometimes it does take a lot of personal development to learn
Mm.
how your body works. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, because everybody's different, right? You can't just say, "Oh, just do your power hour and you'll be fine," because that doesn't actually work for everybody, right? And
Exactly.
if I just cram my business into 1 hour a day, the one part of my day, that wouldn't be fulfilling for me, right? I would feel like I'd abandon my business and my team and my challengers 23 hours out of the day.
Right.
So like that never worked for me. So I just, like you said, you just have to find systems that make sense for you, and that, guys, you have to find ways to keep your cup filled, right?
Yeah.
Like even like through your day. And if that means like walking away from
Yeah.
your computer, do that. If I sit at my computer for 3 hours, because it does happen on occasion, sometimes I get like on a project and I'm super excited and I can
Mhm.
do it. I can sit and I can drink coffee like a fiend and like get shiz done on my computer, and it's great. But if I'm like, oh my God, it's the 23rd of the month and I haven't hit Success Club and I'm on my, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. It's
Which,
nothing that I want to be doing, and it's draining and defeating and terrible. And like all of the energy dumps into everything that I'm doing, you
yeah.
know? So like not helpful, not successful. So I just know like I can't. Like I said, 20 minutes is like perfect for me.
Yep.
And I set a timer sometimes.
Yep.
Like 20 minutes, cool. I'm going to go, I don't know, switch the laundry or let the dog out or do something else. Even for 5 minutes of like walking away, it like clears my head, refocuses my brain on something, and lets me come back fresher than
Yep.
I was. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Awesome. I really appreciate it's been like 45 minutes, so I think we should wrap it up. But
Mm-hmm.
I really, really appreciate, and so does my team, you coming on and sharing that with us. It's huge, total different perspective than what they see from me. And that is why I wanted you to talk. I was like, Jamie is
Awesome.
going to blow your mind. And I think you did. So we really
Awesome. Well,
appreciate you.
I'm happy to do it anytime. Like I said, I'm kind of in love with my story because it just shows that there's a ton of ways to work this business and make it successful. So
Totally.
I think, yeah, you just find what works for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Jamie.
Awesome. My
Yes.
pleasure.
And everybody can follow you. What's your like page?
Yeah. My like page it's Jamie Hance, but it's under um facebook.com/fit and frugal with Jamie.
Yes.
So yeah,
That's right.
I
Yes.
whoopsed on I changed my name too many times and then I got stuck. So but
Yeah.
it's just Jamie Hance when you go there. So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Thank you so much. You have a good
Mm-hmm.
night.
Mwah. You too.
See ya.
Bye.